Haunted Echoes, The Curse of the Mountain Village, Day 1. Adam and Elizabeth decided to spend their summer vacation in a remote mountain village with their daughter Daisy. The village was known for its old stone houses, narrow streets, and mystical atmosphere. On the first day, while exploring the village, Daisy suddenly stopped and stared at the window of an old house. "Mom, there's a child there," she said. Elizabeth looked at the window but saw no one. "No, honey, there's no one." During dinner, Daisy kept talking about the house. "Why didn't that child talk to us?" Adam and Elizabeth dismissed it as Daisy's imagination. However, throughout the night, they heard whispers from Daisy's room. When they checked, she was sound asleep. Day 2. The next morning, Adam and Elizabeth went for a walk in the village. Daisy again looked at the house and asked, "Can I play with him today?" Adam, feeling uneasy, decided to return home. That evening, Daisy suddenly disappeared. After a frantic search, they found her standing in front of the old house. "He called me," Daisy said. Adam and Elizabeth began to realize the seriousness of the situation. That night, strange sounds and shadows appeared in the house. Doors were opening and closing by themselves. Even though they knew there was no wind, windows would suddenly open and close, and a cold breeze filled the house. Day 3. On the third day, the family decided to leave the house. But when they woke up in the morning, they found their car tires slashed. Daisy said, "He doesn't want us to leave." While trying to find a way out of the village, Elizabeth found an old diary inside the house. The diary told the tragic story of a child who lived there years ago. The child had been abandoned by his family and died alone in the house. Elizabeth realized that Daisy had formed a connection with this child. At midnight, Daisy disappeared again. This time they found her in the attic. Daisy said, "I want to stay with him." Adam and Elizabeth forcibly brought Daisy down and waited until morning. When they finally managed to leave the village, they returned home, only to find an old photograph of Daisy with the same child in her room. This was the beginning of a curse that followed the family and refused to let them go. The tension in the story escalated with each night due to the paranormal activities in the house. Doors slammed on their own, lights flickered, and the whispers from Daisy's room grew louder. Adam, Elizabeth, and Daisy's psychological states quickly deteriorated, with each night becoming more terrifying. One night, Elizabeth claimed to have seen a shadow inside the house. Adam tried to reassure her, thinking it was just her imagination. However, the next night, Adam saw the shadow himself. The shadow moved quickly down the corridor, but Adam didn't have the courage to follow it. Fear spread throughout the house. By the fourth day, the family was so overwhelmed by the situation that they decided to seek help from a spiritual leader. An elderly priest living in a monastery outside the village agreed to help them. The priest came to the house, recited prayers, and blessed the home. However, this did not entirely eliminate the unrest in the house. The priest said that a very strong spirit was present in the house and that this spirit was communicating with Daisy. The priest facilitated a conversation between Daisy and the spirit. Daisy, crying, said, "He just doesn't want to be alone." The priest suggested a ritual to bring peace to the spirit. During the ritual, Daisy conveyed the spirit's wishes. The spirit said it did not want to be forgotten by its family and wanted to be remembered in the village every year. The priest explained that fulfilling these wishes would bring the spirit peace. When the ritual was completed, the unrest in the house suddenly ceased. The cold air inside the house disappeared, and the doors and windows returned to normal. The family finally took a deep breath of relief. However, the experience had profoundly affected them. They decided to leave the village, but the effects of this event would remain with them every moment of their lives. When they returned home, they found an old photograph of Daisy with the child in her room. This was a sign that the nightmare they had experienced was not truly over. The family could not be sure if the spirit had found peace. This story left deep marks on their lives, and the village remained an unforgettable memory for them.